Broken Bones. This track is it's essentially about this idea of hypocrisy. And a lot of the imagery that you'll see in the song stemmed from a lot of the things that Jesus said to the Pharisees, where he said that they claim to have life, but inside all it is dead men's bones, or their insides are like a tomb, or walking by them is like walking past an unmarked grave. And these are really tough, harsh words from Christ, but deserved, because the Pharisees were a people who truly were the essence of what a hypocrite is, and probably a picture of what most people think about Christians, and rightfully so, why most people hate Christians, because they see a picture of a Pharisee and much less of that of one who is truly a Christian. And it's because this idea of a Pharisee is it's what we would call a whitewashed tomb. It's basically an old practice of whitewashing a tomb is to basically like paint a tomb to try and make it look nice, but all it is still a tomb. There's just a dead body inside, a dead carcass inside. And you can do as much as you want to try and paint it and make it look nice, it's still a tomb. And that's what is being referenced with these people, is that I wrote this song because I know that there is a great deal of our listeners that come from a church background, and probably have grown up in the church and know all the right answers and know all the right things to say and to do, but it's so easy in that culture to think that you're saved and think that you're good and you're right before God because you have all the outer trappings, you have the whole outside figured out. But what Jesus does in addressing them in this way is saying, you think you have the outside figured out, but the inside is the real problem. And that's what we really wanted to paint a picture of with this song is, the problem with the Pharisees is that they did not want to admit that they had a need for mercy. And really that's what the problem is with anyone who finds themselves in this position, is that they think that they're right before God because of what they do and what denomination they're in, or the mission trips they're a part of, or the youth groups that they go to, or because they know how to recite this doctrine or that doctrine. None of those things save you. Maybe you think because you read the Bible a lot, or because you pray a lot. Jesus even addressed the Pharisees and said, you search the scriptures because you think that in them you have life. But you are unwilling to come to me so that you might have life. And what he's saying is, you think that you figured everything out because you read the scriptures and you know them well, but here the Messiah stands before you saying that if you want life, come to me. It's not about what you know and how much you know. It's that, do you recognize these two things? That you have a great need for mercy, but that God is willing to meet that need through Christ. And that's what our call is to somebody who may find themselves in this place, is don't be afraid for God to he's not finding out, but don't be afraid to come to God and for him to see that you're a sinner, because he knows. You do not need to have this exterior figured out, because the exterior can never be cleansed by our works and the things that we do. It can only be cleansed through Christ's work. And so we would call and invite anyone who finds himself in this place is to not fear that you don't have the proper work, because no one does, only God does. And that's why he invites us as sinners to come and to be forgiven.